white people.
They say that they love to eat at Taco Bell, but I think
Not
that
me.
I actually do like it. Taco Bell. I don't know. Sometimes it's 2 a.m. and you just really need something with a lot of cheese.
That's fair.
And but of course, some people may say they like cheese, but some people, like me, are lactose intolerant, and I was definitely intolerant of the cheese on some of these two albums here. Hoo boy! Insert the
Yeah,
insert the SpongeBob wah sound effect.
that's true. Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 4 of the Fox and the Mage podcast.
Hello, hello, welcome everyone. My name is Fox,
My name is Mageclick.
and today we are talking about two albums from one-hit wonders of the early '90s, from artists who are most known for cultural appropriation discourse of some level to another. We, of course, the Vanilla Ice's debut album, To the Extreme. I keep thinking that one's Do the Extreme in my head. I swear to God, even in my notes, I call it Do the Extreme.
I
And
remember you called it that in the last episode, yeah.
yeah, it's so, because it feels like something he would say. It's a corny type of line,
For
and
sure.
we'll get to it. And the other album is Snow's debut record, 12 Inches of Snow. Both of these albums had the Vanilla Ice's and Snow's big one-hit wonder, and I know Vanilla Ice is not technically a one-hit wonder, but I'd say he's like, in retrospect, has kind of like erased his other hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like the Ice Ice Baby is definitely the song people know.
Yeah, like, and
Like what?
play that funky music would not have been a hit if it wasn't for that momentum. That,
We'll
like,
get there.
yeah, yeah, we'll get there.
Alright,
But yeah, so
so
you go. I'm sorry.
I you want to start with Vanilla Ice because I have a lot of notes on this one.
You know what? I think so. Yeah, that's definitely that's the album I listened to first, so I will like that.
All right. So right off the bat, before we even get into any of the individual songs, I have one criticism. I have one major criticism of both albums, and that they're way too long.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. There is a lot of filler, or maybe not filler is not necessarily the right way to think, but like when you think of like the streaming era and how it seems like that's incentivized a lot of people to just do whatever it takes to get more streams by releasing a lot of shorter songs. I feel like in this era too, they were trying to just fill up the entire CD-ROM length with more songs that were needed, and just filled into, okay, let's do a song for this demographic, let's do a song for the Latin market, let's do a song for the hip house crowd, to try and, like, you
Yeah.
can see what this era's equivalent of, like, cynical studio manipulation looked like.
Oh yeah, and also worth noting is that in the 80s and early 90s, pop songs in general were too long. Like there were a lot of like 4 to 5 minute songs on the radio, and that seemed to be a thing on albums too.
That
And
definitely,
that
yeah.
that didn't change when the CD hit when the CD hit the market either. That just meant even more. It meant even more sludginess at times to go through.
Yeah, and I mean, Lord knows this album had its share of sludge.
Yeah, why is almost every song here 5 minutes? Like every proper song.
It was, yeah. It just there's also formulaic. It's like three verses, usually a chorus that's ripped off from a much better song that got sampled, and then like a minute and a half outro. Seems like, and maybe this was a thing that was more convenient back when, like, FM radio was the way most people listened to their music. They kind of preferred having more to less, so they could work with that. Maybe there's a lot of like DJ culture where sample. I don't know, but like either way, it doesn't. Yeah, they really overstay their welcome, and it makes you appreciate the brevity that some of these modern hip hop songs have led toward or are leaning toward.
Yeah, yeah. And you remember that? Remember that? Remember in 2018 when there was like a trend of super short rap albums, like 20-minute rap albums.
Yeah, sound a little bit like there was a not Lil Pump, but like some of those Lil Pump acolyte, those SoundCloud scenes where they would, and like a lot of those songs would just be less than 2 minutes.
Yeah, there's also Earl Sweatshirt's some rap songs. It's
Yeah,
like the main one I could think of.
yeah, that entire album is 25 minutes. I don't. There's not a single song longer than 3 minutes. I think XXX Tentacion had some project where he didn't have a song longer than 3 minutes too. So there was definitely like a yeah, it was kind of interesting that race to the shortest possible thing
Also,
was a few years back.
Pusha T's Daytona as well.
Mm.
But,
Also, almost super short.
I think you noticed that we're stalling.
A little bit, a little bit, yeah.
Well,
But I
think
mean,
that
yeah, you go.
I think now it's a good time to just rip off the Band-Aid and dive into these tracks.
I agree.
Ice Ice Baby. Honestly, this is the kind of song where it kind of just exists. It kind of just exists to me as it's just kind of there. Like it's just like everyone, you know that refrain. You know that hook. Ice Ice Baby. Like
Yeah.
yeah, and you know David Bowie and Queen's Under Pressure.
Yeah, and like this one, yeah. So one thing that I will say I noticed with both of these albums is that they are the types of one-hit wonders where you can tell that you can really tell what the one hit was, even if you had never heard anything from any of these albums before. What song that one big hit was is incredibly obvious because it has so much of the effort put into it. This was my favorite song from age 11 to age 11 and a half. So there is a part of me that will always associate it as like kind of a rap song for children. And I do forget that he does rap about shooting guns and having nines on this song. And that led to his downfall because he, like Vanilla Ice will forever be associated with claiming to have credibility that he did not. And
Yeah.
I guess as a little spoiler, I think he realized he might have dug himself into a hole when he talks about hearing shells falling on the concrete. Because there's nothing like that on any other song on this project. He kind
Yeah.
of stays firmly away from that.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so just to get an idea of how this stood out and when it came out, I did listen to some other like rap songs from this era. The main comparison I can think of is MC Hammer's "You Can't Touch This," the other big rap song from 1990 that's built on a sample.
Yeah.
A sample of a song from 1981.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's an interesting coincidence.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this. I'm not really a fan of "You Can't Touch This," but like, I feel like that I do think that is a better song than "Ice Ice Baby," and I don't even hate "Ice Ice Baby." It's just that okay, there's like one line everyone knows in "Ice Ice Baby," and that's the title. Meanwhile, "You Can't Touch This" at least spawns several catchphrases. Everyone knows "Stop Hammer Time." Everyone knows that that there's a title as well. Everyone knows that that opening the intro to the verse.
Just for a minute, let's all do the bump, 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 bump. Yeah, bump. Can't touch this. That's the top of my head.
Yeah, and it also has better flow than "Ice Ice Baby."
Hammer is a more dynamic rapper than Vanilla Ice.
Like, I guess it's still a bit there's still too edgeless for me. I do like some edge in my hip hop. Speaking of edge, the next song I listened to was Straight Outta Compton by NWA. Probably isn't fair at all, but like it obviously had no shot against that.
Yeah, it is. It must have been really weird to have. And the Hammer is also something good to mention because those two songs did take over rap at the time, and I think people really thought there was like a sea change where pop rap was going to be the huge thing. And in a world where like that is competing, so with stuff like NWA and like Ice T, I was thinking was also coming in his own around this time. That had to have been really surreal. And like I mean, I'll be honest, I kind of think the song is all right, maybe all right to good, but it is the type of thing that I can imagine hearing it overplayed over and over and over again, and people getting sick of it really quick.
Yeah, I was not there for that, so I guess I can't speak to just how big it was like at the time. But, like I will say this, this is like the only rap song my nana said she liked. Uh, Except for the time that I got her to admit to kind of liking Nothing But a G Thing, which
Yeah.
is an infinitely better song.
One time I saw my grandma she's listening to the song Adidas by Run DMC. And I was like, damn, okay, that's. I didn't even think she listened to any music made after 1970, but I was like, okay, interesting. I see the vision here.
Love to see it. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into all the other songs that I listen to compare to this. Those are just the main two ones that I feel like, or we can bring up some kind of compare and contrast points to contextualize how much this stood out at the time.
Yeah, one song that I kept thinking of was Third Base's "Pop Goes the Weasel," which was it did come out around this time. There were like alternative rappers, which I guess was like kind of that was like the third faction fighting for hip hop because I think Arrested Development's thing came out in '91 as well.
Yeah, I know. Like around this time, a Tribe Called Quest "Can I Kick It" was pretty big.
Mm. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, just and I can easily see songs like "Can I Kick It" and "Check the Rhyme," or even songs like "Pop Goes the Weasel," which is like a little bit of like okay, we're not pop rappers, we do like okay, maybe a little bit Jack jerk offy, but I do think that there is something salient there. If somebody is like sees that this like doofus from the Dallas suburb has the potential to become the new standard bearer for hip hop, I think a lot of people's alarm bells went off, and not unrightfully so.
Right. I also do want to say that doing this was my first time actually actively listening to this song from start to finish. And with that, well, like I said before, I don't hate it. I hate what it represents more than the actual song itself. Like, if this were just a one-off, and there wasn't any album attached to it, then I honestly wouldn't really mind that much. Even though I don't really like the whispering at the end.
Oh yeah, that outro.
Yeah,
Another,
it's also a bit too long.
Yeah, these outros kind of drag.
Yeah, I'm gonna be saying that a lot.
Mm. Anyway, the second song is about Vanilla Ice being afraid of sex.
There's a 4-second interlude between these two, by the way.
Yeah, I
I
don't.
have no idea why it's there.
Yeah, it kind of gets its own track, which again, the CD era, that must have been really annoying.
Yeah, I mean that was just kind of a thing in hip hop in general.
Yeah, I guess the skits they're either their own tracks or they're attached to the very end of the track. Which
Yeah,
I kind of prefer they're their own tracks formula thing.
yeah, exactly. It's like like I said before when talking about Speed and Bullet to Heaven, but skits should be their own tracks.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe this is a hot take incoming, but that's kind of my biggest problem with the miseducation of Lauryn Hill is that the skits are just like 2 minutes long and they're at the end of every other song. And that kind of makes it tricky to go back and just re listen to some of those songs as songs if you don't want to go through the whole album.
That's totally fair. I'm sure it's easy to for the singles, but like the whole but like there's more than singles on the album, and pretty much every song is great. I want to just listen to the songs.
Yeah. I think that's.
Anyway.
But yeah, the second like real song on the album is "Stop That Train," which immediately makes me appreciate how good Ice Ice Baby is because that is easily the best song on this album. Wow, "Stop That Train" is just bad.
My first note on this flow is infinitely worse than it was on Ice Ice Baby.
Yeah, I guess maybe the beat on Ice Ice Baby does heavy lifting, and he maybe the lyrics are just a little bit more clever and pointed. Like oh, I'm a cool guy, I'm gonna brag rap. Is
yeah,
that's a tried and true formula.
Under Pressure is a good beat, yes.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah. That also. Why is this chorus sample so quiet?
It's really mixed bizarrely.
And the whole album is just limp.
Yeah, that is such a like the entire chorus is just that sample of "Stop the Train, I Want to Get Off." It doesn't really. It's not creative. It doesn't like invoke anything. It's just oh hey, here's a word that could describe the situation. Here's a song that we could use. Like I think this entire album is full of lazy sampling, and at least when David Guetta does awful things like "I Don't Want to Wait," that type of music is meant for the dance floor, the club.
Oh, God, yeah. This walked so David Guetta could run.
True.
That's the review of this album.
Yeah. Like hearing this album did make me like think about because I know there was a lot of anti-sampling movement going on around this time. I know Biz Markie got screwed over pretty bad, but I know hearing this album did make me just kind of say, okay, I forget that for a lot of people they do see sampling as just lazy recycling, not as like something that can be kind of recycled and reused and recontextualized because this album is full of shit sampling. God.
Yeah, like there are ways to sample creatively. Like even if you're not like Beastie Boys or De La Soul, like there's still some creative ways to use samples. And like hell, I'd even go as far as to say that You Can't Touch This had better sampling, was used to sample better than Ice Ice Baby did, and Bisexual and everything else on this album. Even if I don't think it's that creative.
I think so. Yeah, because like MC Hammer uses that Rick James sample, and like he finds like the most pump up part of it, and then like uses it to make a pump up song. And he like builds something from it, and with "Stop That Train," it's just oh hey, here's a reference. It's like kind of the like the worst parts of Family Guy, or what people associate like bad Family Guy to be. Just kind of, oh hey, here's a reference. You know it.
Let's see. This might be an oddball out there reference, but do you know who Dickie Goodman is?
Dickie Goodman. I can't say it rings a bell.
Okay, this feels like a Dickie Goodman track where it's just okay. So basically, is just a disc jockey that spliced together like just samples of songs for random stuff throughout like the 50s all the way up to the 80s. Like they're not really songs; they're just skits. They're charted. That's basically what these samples are like to me.
Interesting. Okay, so like specifically like a plunderphonic mindset type of guy.
Yeah, except Dickie Goodman sucked.
Oh,
Like
okay.
those were not songs. They're not trying to be songs.
Hmm.
Like they're just kind of there. It's just more like, get it. Uh, Rubs elbow annoyingly against you.
Yeah. Okay, I
Yeah,
get that.
that. Yeah, that's. Also, women bad is basically what I took from this song.
Women Bad is kind of what I take from a lot of the album.
And
But
like I know that's kind of
this
just
one in particular, I feel like does like kind of the worst job at it because it's just so unintentionally hilarious.
yeah, it's like I know that's kind of just a thing in hip hop, unfortunately. Like even today, like is
Mm.
that misogyny is kind of just a thing that's been there from the beginning. But uh, like some people go way harder on it, or just or just or just very cartoonish about it to the point where I can't take it seriously. I don't know if I take it serious. I can't take this seriously because it just sounds like someone who learns about some of the tropes of hip hop and think, okay, I gotta be misogynist, but I'm afraid to call them bitches.
Yeah.
Even though he
God,
calls them
you're
hoes later down the line, but still.
you're right. Yeah, he is very yeah, he is very I will say PC with his language. Very accommodating to mainstream audiences with some of his verbiage. And honestly,
Yeah.
honestly, this track is where I got my like. Okay, you remember the MC Hammer album, "Funky Headhunter," where
Yeah.
he was like, "All right, I'm gonna be gangster, but I can't. I don't. Well, I mean, he actually did have cred in real life, but he couldn't like do that on a track. So, all right, I'm not gonna rap
Right.
about guns. I'm gonna rap about being a womanizer because that's I get a lot of women. I'm good with the ladies. That's universal like sign of machismo. It's it's the best that he can do. So if Vanilla wants to thread that needle of okay, I want to be like a tough big macho guy, but I'm actually just a wimp from the suburbs. Rap about women. That's like the biggest shortcut to do it. But he doesn't like rap about like getting women or liking women or enjoying their company or being good at seduction on any of these ones. It's like this one and the next one, little spoiler, are just kind of moralizing lectures. They're not really fun, except for the parts in Stop That Train where he's all, oh, this woman was a freak. She brought out the handcuffs and a leash. I was so scared, but don't worry, I still nut though. I still
Oh,
bust though, but I was terrified and I did not have a good time.
do you think this was the song that? Do you think this was the song that Jack Harlow was thinking of in "Lovin' on Me"?
Maybe he could. I'm sure he like had this in his head, and he was like, "Man, I cannot be the worst white rapper out there. I gotta be better than this, man. I gotta be better than this."
Yeah, that's basically that. I
Yeah.
feel like that's every white rapper. It's like in basically in between this and Eminem. It's like if you weren't the Beastie Boys, there's pretty much no chance of any white rapper making it, and it's all thanks to this album.
Yeah, this one really did, I think, set a lot of people's potential careers back.
Well, I guess there was technically House of Pain, but they were also rap rock, kind of like Beastie Boys.
Definitely, they benefited a lot from having that those like the like alternative and metal fans in their audience. Like the those
Yeah, like
like Cypress Hill was also in that scene. Which that actually reminds me after I finished listening to this album, it autoplayed Vanilla Ice's cover of "Insane in the Brain" by Cypress Hill,
oh
and
god,
it just made me think that like wow, Cypress Hill were like much better lyricists. Like "Insane in the Brain" is full of like so many like punchlines and internal jokes and wits and stuff. It's actually a very clever song, and you can really tell when he is singing something he did not write.
yeah. That'll definitely happen to you when you listen to actual proper lyricists who actually know how who aren't just trying to who aren't just trying to market to white suburban moms.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can really tell that from this album, I think that Vanilla Ice just wanted to be famous more than he wanted to be a rapper.
Yeah, it's like because I know his manager is the one who made up that whole backstory of him being from the streets.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought it was some. I Interesting. I guess I did remember reading that at some point, uh, but then yeah, I mean
he's
you
like
can yeah, tough needle to thread.
maybe if he could make up his own story, he probably would have written some better lyrics too.
Yeah, like I'm sure there's like parts of his life that are and have been interesting. There's parts of everybody's lives that are
Yeah,
interesting, but
like I'm not like he's no Kid Rock. Like I'm sure like he's definitely not some like I don't think he was like some rich guy like Kid Rock was that's just pretending to be something he's not. He's probably just some middle class guy or maybe even lower class. Just
yeah, that's what
he
I
just
remember reading. He's like a middle class guy. I think he did a street performance at one point, which on
yeah, but
honestly that's pretty cool. I did street performance at one point.
I
Rap about
haven't.
You could rap about that.
Yeah, it, like yeah, yeah, that would be interesting. But instead, we got hooked,
Hooked. Another song which
and
okay, you can't write a song that's like I know how to deal with women. Write us after a song where you are unable to like say no to sex, even though you are vocally uncomfortable with it.
yeah.
This
Also,
this album pacing is excellent.
yes, I love grouping a bunch of 4 to 5 minute songs together for 57 minutes. I also love the fucking the fucking flat drum machine on this song.
Oh yeah, that so many of these yeah drums are incredibly cheap sounding.
Yeah, and so is the sax.
Hmm.
Also, I want to say this: her and is not a rhyme.
Going up, yeah, it's really not.
Like I'm not. I don't tend to go hard on like lyrics and stuff or rhyme stuff like that. But I'm going to for hip hop, for rap, especially for rappers that talk about their lyrics.
No, totally. It's a lyrical genre, and you know if you're gonna make rap music, that's what you have to do. You have to write lyrics that are interesting or clever, or tell a unique story, or are catchy, or at least even just like sound good. Like just nonsense words flow together.
Yeah, it's like
Homeboy named Randy, he was hooked on a girl named Candy. Damn, which I think might literally be a line from Young MC's Busta Groove.
yeah, for sure. Also, the most ironic line in this entire album comes from this song. Try to act like you were Mac.
Try to- yeah.
Hey, kind of projecting a bit there, buddy.
Every accusation a confession, Mr. Van Winkle.
Yeah. Also, I don't know what SSSY is. He just says that at one point. I still don't know what it means. I looked it up and I couldn't find anything about it.
Hooked on that. I assumed it was like a slang for pussy, but I'm not sure why. Or like or I'm not sure how. I just assumed that
Uh,
SSY, that's the last three letters. Maybe the first
that
S
just
is. It's not slang I've ever heard.
I don't know. Maybe I just had to be there in the early '90s to get it.
Maybe. Times were
But
different.
yeah, it's like but like this is yeah the flows just keep getting more and more stilted as the album goes.
Yeah, he really doesn't know how to, and like, it makes again, like, it makes you songs like these make you appreciate Ice Ice Baby, where at least he changes up his flow once or twice. But for a lot of these songs, he's just stagnant and stagnant and stagnant over flat beats and just like kind of song concepts that are boring at best and insufferable at worst.
Yeah, it's like by this point, like Eric B and Rakim were making music for a few years at this point, and they basically revolutionized rap flows.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
they help make them faster. Like even before then, I could still listen to some of the to pre Eric B and Rakim rap flows totally fine. Like it just sounds bad here. He just can't flow for shit.
You really can't.
Yeah, it's just it's, it's just genuinely some of the most milk toast stuff I've ever heard. Emphasis on milk.
Yeah. Emphasis on toast on the lowest setting of the toaster, so that it's just
Yep,
barely warm.
yep, that do be some white bread.
When you want like a melty peanut butter sandwich or something.
Yeah, you could totally could. And ISIS working happens, and the drum machine gets worse.
Man, I really
Like,
did not have any notes for this song. This song is just
I,
generic as hell.
uh, all I wrote is that I actually wrote a couple of things.
Go
So
ahead.
I did say the drum machine actively hurt my ears, but the flow is better. Kinda.
That's why the drum machine
And
was so bad, to make Ice look better.
true. And then there was more whispering, which also hurt.
Yeah.
And also we do this there's a line in here that foreshadows play that funky music. That "Go White Boy Go" refrain is in this song.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
Go
but
white
it's
boy,
also,
go white boy, go. Check out the hook. Yeah.
I don't think anyone ever said that seriously.
Yeah, that just I can't imagine even at the time that seems ridiculous. And like again, I do get that like the early '90s was a different time, but you know, like you were just saying it. The Beastie Boys were very well known at this point, and they had a huge fan base. And then
Yeah,
House of Pain was around the corner. I feel like being a white rapper was not such an extreme novelty that he had to be this fucking. He had to like wear it as a mascot costume, basically.
yeah, he wore up. Yeah, yeah. I just I don't know. It just feels like it just feels like a one trick pony. To me,
Yeah, he
like
really
it's like,
is.
and he's literally advertising. It's like he's advertising himself on his skin color, which yeah, does not really send a good message.
Yeah, and it doesn't because like yeah, like all right, so there's like nothing else interesting about you, I guess, because I mean, there's nothing in these lyrics that kind of paint him as anything other than just you know, yeah, it's kind of a guy at best,
Oh
kind of a douchey
yeah.
at worst.
I also said that the whispering was hurting my ears. This song ends on like a minute of whispering.
Yeah, goddamn.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what it is, but like, I just don't like whispering in songs.
Mm, I think that's fair.
Like, yeah. But like it's like it was more interesting than the last one, but I hated it more.
I think that's valid. Yeah, and I just it just seemed like a generic party song to me, but I felt it was more forgettable than Hooked, because at least Hooked was like obnoxious, and I just working it is just all right. You're working it, cool.
Yeah. And then things change up a bit on the next song.
Yeah, life is a
Life is
fan.
it's
Sorry.
we
So,
both said at the same time.
sorry. By the way, y'all, sorry if I'm a bit out of it this episode. I'm a little lethargic from stuff and a bit dehydrated. I am drinking water. I am trying to be more alert.
I'm gonna drink water right now.
Everybody listening, I want you to take a water break. Go to your fridge, grab a water bottle, and just drink 4 to 6 ounces, and let it sit. And then maybe in 15 minutes, go drink another 4 to 6 ounces.
Yes, we will pause. Just pause the video now and go do that.
Do
This is a
do do
threat.
do 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 Pause the video so we don't have to talk about life is a fantasy. Do 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 do. I was at Life is a fan, man. This one like hits like that first second just like hits super hard, man. That production is different. It honestly sounds a little bit like something Denzel Curry would have rapped on King of the Mischievous South. But
I
then
would
like
hope not, because this drum machine is even worse than it was on the last song.
yeah, I was gonna say like I feel like the hook has like that one like kind of good. It's like a grimy idea. It feels really out of place because it is kind of grimy, and then yeah, that drum machine comes in. It goes kind of limp for the verses, and then it's just more the cringy lyrics about being sensual, which he's like, yeah, like
Yeah.
songs like these. Okay, like I do kind of. I'll be real. I do prefer songs about being a generic womanizer to songs like these where he's trying to be seductive but clearly has no sense of sensuality.
Yeah,
It's just
this is a
really
child.
uncomfortable.
This does just feel like a child just trying to lay down what he thinks hip hop is,
Amen.
and it's like okay, I gotta write the tender love ballad now.
Yeah, I think the rap critic called these Thugs Need Love 2 songs.
Yeah,
Not the only one.
so flow as cold as an ice cube. Thanks for reminding me I could be listening to Ice Cube instead.
No shit, right? Damn.
Yeah, it's like
Like we were
and
we were 2 years out from Death Certificate.
oh no, 1 year. And America's Most Wanted came out the same year.
Oh yeah, even better, man. Fuck. I mean, God.
Yeah, it's like actually it probably came out before this.
Yeah, number one rule of making any art: don't remind the audience of better art.
Yeah, that is a big rule for me, especially. Uh, also, do you ever wonder if there's like some poor white kid out there who was conceived to this song?
I mean, there had to like I know that this album has fans. Like for a fact, unfortunately, it did. Like back in the day, I have like Diaz who were into Vanilla Ice. They saw that awful movie he was in '91. They were
He's in
huge
the
fans.
movie.
Yeah, there was in some like I don't know if it was like a direct to DVD movie or if it was a thing or what, but it was like I don't even know. It was like just a movie where he does this a thing and he just goes around and I don't know. Like, do you ever see that Sean's video about the 1991 worst hits? He talks a little bit about it
Uh,
in there.
I didn't know Sean did a video about that. I know Todd did.
Todd, I think Todd talks about play that funky music
Yeah, he
on
does.
that one. I mean, I think
I
Sean
might have
does.
seen Sean's.
Oh wait, no, Sean. I'm thinking of it was '92.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, in that video he chose a little bit from the Vanilla Ice movie.
yeah. I guess it's been a while.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah.
yeah.
Well,
People probably
speaking
were
of,
conceived to this one, man. Damn.
yeah, I feel bad for those kids. I'd say we need to. I'd say just. Luckily, though, D'Angelo was around the corner. Had much better music to be conceived to.
Yeah, everybody born after that first record came out was super lucky. I'm really glad I don't know what I was conceived to. Knowing my parents, it was probably some shit like Metallica's The Black Album or Led Zeppelin 2, something like that.
You wonder. I wonder if a child was ever conceived to like Sonic Youth or Swans.
Oh, most certainly.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we should probably rip off the other Band-Aid now.
Yeah. All right. On to, I guess we were foreshadowing with, and I guess this was like Vanilla, like, yeah, when people say Vanilla Ice wasn't a one hit wonder, this was his, Play That Funky Music was his second hit. It got a little bit of chart success, but has been completely forgotten by history. And it has the same problem that all the other songs have. The production sucks, and the sample is lazy and uninspired.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna get this one out of the way right now. Stepping hard
Hard
like a German Nazi.
Yeah.
Who,
Damn.
okay, I wrote in all caps, who the fuck approved this shit?
One thing I remember, I mean, that's like a line that you hear and like you never forget. But I'd forgotten that it does. Like a few bars before that, it's a line about oh yeah, we're rolling through the ghetto with my VIP posse, stepping so hard. So he's like bragging about goose stepping specifically in black neighborhoods.
Yeah, you wonder why. You wonder why people hate Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, I wonder why this guy rubbed people
don't
the wrong way.
like I don't think he's like I don't think it was intentional. I think I think he was just an idiot and didn't think about the implications of that.
That's what I like kind of assume, which is why I'm comfortable laughing at it, because it was like, all right, I need a rhyme with posse. Oh, what rhymes with posse? Nazi rhymes with posse. What Nazis do? Step in. Oh, we step in.
Yes, that's the
like,
only thing Nazis ever did.
Yeah, it would. Monty Python had a pretty good sketch about goose stepping with that Ministry of Silly Walks thing, but maybe that would have But I mean, that couldn't have reinforced the white thing any more than being a Nazi. Would a Monty Python joke have really like made his reputation soured?
Yeah, no, yeah, that's pretty much. It's just really in poor taste.
And it is weird to think because like when this album came out, like Nazis were, I mean, like, they were always a thing, but it was like for a while you could just like make fun of Hitler because the assumption was that nobody took him seriously, and now we can't have that assumption anymore. I mean,
I hate the world right
I
now.
just saw that like fucking video of like Kanye's choir like shouting "Hail Hitler" in like the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yeah,
And I'm like, yeah. So, man,
I hate the world right now.
it's really, really fucked.
Anyway, let's go back to the fun kind of bad.
My rhymes are atrocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Yes, they are atrocious. That just tells me you just ran out of things to rhyme.
Like, you really play that funky music. It's got the same problems as all the other songs, but it is noticeably worse just because the bad rhymes are that much more memorable.
Yeah. Also, what is with the Kid and Play diss?
Yeah, that one felt interesting. Like, I think he was trying to gain credibility about, like, like you were saying earlier, he's like, okay, what do rap albums have? Rap albums get in beef. Who can I, like, start a beef with and win? Other, like, pop rap kind of doofuses. Except people liked Kid and Play, and I'm pretty sure they still do.
I don't know anything about Kid and Play.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you a song of theirs off the top of my head. I think one of them ended up doing, like, music production for HBO.
Nice.
I think one of them, like, wrote the Bill Maher theme back in, like, 2002.
I wonder, had the Milli Vanilli scandal happened yet?
Ooh, I think Milli Vanilli, I thought that was 91 or 92.
It would have been really funny if he just dissed them.
Yeah, that could have been.
Like,
yeah.
I said, yeah. He could have been ahead of the curve on that one.
Yeah, that would have been. I mean, it would have come out of nowhere. It'd be like, why are you making fun of these random pop guys? But, like, hey, and if you're going to be shooting from the hip, might as well. I mean, makes as much sense as dissing Kid and Play of all fucking people.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
They're about as controversial as White Sox.
Yeah, White Sox. It definitely dates the song even more than when he says 90 is my year.
90, but yeah.
Enjoy your year, by the way.
Yeah, he had a good year. And then
Also,
32 bad ones.
Also, you probably eat spaghetti with a spoon. This is that. It's like, this seems like something that should be made for children, but then he says stepping hard like a German Nazi. So, like, who is this made for?
Yeah, I really don't know if, like, spaghetti from a spoon is some kind of idiom I'm not aware of. I'm Assuming he's trying to call someone stupid, but he picks
Yeah,
like the most memorably bad way to go about it.
like it's like it is very much okay. I've never heard it before, but like it just screams white. It just it's like you know what Vanta Black is?
Mental Black, vaguely familiar.
You know, it's this substance that absorbs like 30% of all light that touches it, so it's like
That
very
thing.
dark.
Yeah.
Yep, this is Vanta White.
Damn. Mental White, the purest of the pure.
Oh god, that sounds so bad out of context.
Sounds yeah. Let us put
Sounds
that
like
line next to the German Nazi line.
yeah. Also, this is where the "Go White Boy Go" refrain comes back and is full frontal.
I'm surprised the Nazis haven't like tried to reappropriate this one. It seems like
I'm
it
sure
has a
somebody
lot
will.
for. I mean, yeah, they might, but it does seem like I like to think that even they have
Like,
higher standards than this.
I doubt that. I think it's just I think it's just that this song sucks.
It
And
does,
very
yeah.
plainly so.
Yeah. No, they're like, come on,
I,
there are better representatives of the white race than Vanilla Ice, like Eminem's 2010 album where he says window pane.
I
You know,
all those people that say Eminem is the best rapper ever, that probably haven't heard like other rappers.
One time I talked with one of those guys at a bonfire who was like, rap sucks, but Eminem, he's the best, man. He'd this was like early 2020. He had never even heard of Earl Sweatshirt. And I was like, what about Earl Sweatshirt? And he was like, I don't know who that is. And I was like, how are you going to be like an obnoxious Eminem loving hip hop fan and you don't even know who Odd Future was?
Yeah, it's like it tends to be
Like,
how it
that's
goes
for
too.
you. Yeah.
Eminem is always the one that's singled out. Like,
Yeah, but
imagine the alternate universe where Vanilla Ice was the one that gets singled out. Actually, that was probably the case before Eminem came up.
yeah, and like, listening to this album did kind of make me appreciate how, Eminem did need to stand out by just being so controversial that nobody could possibly assume that he was like an industry plant or whatever. Even though he was like
Yeah,
very much like an industry guy, he was very good at just kind of shedding off any like stench of that Vanilla Ice pop rap era. At least
yeah,
initially, at least.
and also he actually has street cred. Like he actually grew up in poverty. He grew up in Detroit.
He did have street cred, and he had clever lyrics, and
Yeah, it's
he could
like
actually be funny on purpose.
it's basically just the music equivalent of South Park.
Good it came
Yeah,
out around the same time too.
yeah, yeah. So it's like you don't love everything. You don't have to love everything to do, but like he's definitely good at what he does in that early period.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's all my thoughts on Play That Funky Music.
Yeah, same. Next is just dancing, and the beat sounds like a dying Sega Genesis sound font.
We need to make a dance song for this. That's exactly what I was talking about earlier. It's like these '90s albums. Like, okay, we need a dance song now for the dance people. What are we gonna call it? Let's call it dancing. Let's make the hook just say dancing, dancing, dancing. Come on, come on, come on, everybody.
Very, totally makes me want to dance. From this point on, I'm pretty much gonna just be bored because like we already got past the one line in the previous song, and we're not topping that.
Yeah, that is it's both a highlight and a low light of this album.
Yeah, like it's just kind of here. Like I'm not moving. There's some weird stuttering at the end, but like this sure is a song.
If this wasn't from the early '90s, I would assume that ChatGPT wrote this.
Yeah, like alright, ChatGPT, show me a dancing song.
Give me a hip house song uh, where it says the word dancing a lot.
Uh, this
Chilling. 808. Catch the Groove, New York, Dallas. Shouts out Dallas. And then Earthquake for some reason. I don't know where Earthquake is, but uh, I like the Dallas shout out, I guess.
I, if there's enough people dancing to this song to cause an earthquake, then we'll have failed even more as a species. Like that.
Oh god, yes.
Like that's just gonna be my hard line. Like everything else in the world sucks, but that is where I'm just gonna. That's just where I'm gonna cross the line.
We cannot set a precedent where, people like this can cause seismic events. The bar needs to be higher. You have to be at least madness level successful and good to cause an earthquake, like they did.
Vanilla Ice becoming an earth shifting supervillain.
Did you hear about that British band Madness caused an earthquake at a concert once? I think just by having like the world record for the most people jumping up and down at the same time.
I did not. That is hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it registered like a 2 or a 3 on the Richter scale or something. But they actually did something.
Wow, I don't know what to say to that. They definitely weren't dancing to this though.
Yeah, no, the Madness is a good band that makes much more danceable music. That's more interesting.
Exactly. Anyway, go Will. I have more notes on this, even though it's still boring.
My big note on this is that okay, have you ever heard that song "Let Me Clear My Throat" by DJ Cool?
No.
All right, so it's a song that I most associate this sax riff with it. The sample, like that one. I love that sax riff, and I most associated with that song. But that song by DJ Cool came out 5 years after this, so I'm surprised that Vanilla Ice got to this like really killer saxophone sample first.
Oh, I called it a chintzy sax solo, and I said that it needed to shut up.
Oh, trust me, it's much better when you have like rappers with gravitas under it. I'll link you after, and like we'll see.
All right.
But I just wanted to say that.
Also, the misogyny comes back. If you a hoe, get off my lap. Which is still tame for this time. Like NWA was already out. So,
yeah. I feel like hip hop is also generally more pro ho nowadays than back in the time. I don't know,
kinda.
Or at the very least, I can listen to this album and get the impression that Vanilla Ice just doesn't enjoy sex in any way. He just seems to talk about women exclusively in derogatory terms. I feel like at least in Jack Harlow, to bring it back, at least in that song "Lovin' on Me," he seems to, I don't know, like he's kind of playing up that more womanizer thing. I'm not actually sure what point I'm getting at. I'm gonna be real, but it feels so anachronistic. It's like I'm listening to something from a different time, and it wants to be like macho and posturing and misogynistic, but it doesn't actually want to do anything that would upset the types of people who are most buying Vanilla Ice's music, which are boring suburbanites who are interested in the novelty of a white rapper, but don't want any of that pesky authenticity.
Yeah, like it's just it's basically like a cartoon. That's basically what it is. Like it feels like a cartoon of hip hop.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Also, he says, "Whip up a sound that'll burst your eardrum." You mean like those drum machines from some of the previous songs?
Yes. I think you should burst those drum machines and get some new ones.
Yeah, like get some 808s in there. Like something. Just. Also, I like when he calls himself the Rhyme Doctor and just fails to rhyme immediately after that.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Yeah.
Oh, the self awareness on this guy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Groovin' Like Rubin as well. I mean, it's about as well produced as a Rick Rubin album. Uh, That is totally derogatory, by the way.
Oh, most certainly. It's damn. You really just yeah, no sense. I know we're like harping on the production a bit, but like the really, you have to imagine a guy like this would have access to just more dynamic productions or just have better standards. Like what I was saying earlier, this is an album by a man who wants to be famous more than he wants to make music. Like, yeah, it really feels like there was very little thought put into every song that isn't Ice Ice Baby.
Yeah, it's like yeah, it's like the album seemed to have been made around the song and not the other way around.
Absolutely.
It's like it's the first song on the album. That's like one of the surefire signs of that. Uh, maybe I also wrote that maybe if I were a sheltered suburban white mom in the early '90s and I were dancing, I'd find this fun. But none of that is true.
Yeah. Same. Just maybe you had to be there in that time and place, but that time
Yeah,
is gone to history.
yeah. Uh, and then it just goes into a chipmunk voice at the end.
That's pretty. Yeah.
It's like I guess he has a bag of tricks now. He pulls that every now and then. Like, okay, here's something.
Yeah, we'll do. If we speed it up, we can do Chipmunk Soul. And then, it'll be discovered better by Kanye West 15 years later.
Speaking of stepping hard like a Nazi.
Yeah. Kanye will also do that thing better even more years later,
Oh
quite,
God.
quite frankly.
Well, at the very least, Mr. What is his name?
Van Winkle.
Yeah, Ben Winkle. At least he would go on to renovate houses, apparently.
Oh, yeah, he did. I think my mom watched a little bit of that show that he did.
I haven't seen any of it. Like, wouldn't it be interesting to say that Vanilla Ice renovated my house?
I mean, that's a hell of a story to tell.
Yeah, I
Just
wonder if
the
he's
guy.
better at that than rapping.
He might be. I know those. Como se dice the fuck. Some of those new kids on the block guys have a home reno show, and my mom has
I
been
did not
watching a
know
lot of
that.
that. Apparently, there's like this HGTV show where they like get people from all the other HGTV shows and they have them in competition with each other. And so Jordan Knight and one of the other new kids on the block is great. It's like their entry is like a farmhouse but with a recording studio in the basement.
Huh.
It is the most I was famous in the late 20th century move of all time.
Yeah, I guess that's just is that just a thing that people do when they were like they just go on to renovate houses after their music career ends?
I think it's a kind of thing that people just kind of get into as they get older and they start to kind of settle and they're like, oh, well, now that, I don't want to move around so much, I better start thinking about the place I live in and, all this will look good. And I think it's just kind of, because I don't know, when I get older, I'm starting looking at home decor differently than when I was like in my early 20s.
Yeah, I guess mid-20s, so I guess I'm not at that point yet.
It's coming. One of these
Then
days,
again,
you're going to go to Floor and Decor and be like, ooh, that wallpaper looks so pretty.
Then again, the thing I did just buy a plush, so maybe that's a start.
Ooh, it begins.
Yeah, it's a Miss Magius plush.
Oh, very cute.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a party. Pretty sure he had this exact same cadence in a previous song.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It seems like he's recycling a lot of his cadences.
Yeah.
Also, another thing that kind of feels like the dates it is there's a lot of the anti-drug moralizing in this. There's a lot of moralizing in general on this album, but it is interesting that to hear him like go shit on doing drugs, which I know was like NWA was also doing that at the time, but it does like pose a question: does this guy have any fun?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I'm like obviously I'm not like we're not encouraging drug use, but like, what does this guy do exactly?
Yeah, and also it does like I said after I heard this album, I auto played "Insane in the Brain," which is again like a much better song by a band that whose ethos is we smoke as much weed as possible. And so it was like, all right, maybe you need to learn some lessons from them instead of the weird studio exec trying to pitch you in on a made for NBC TV movie.
Yeah, exactly. Just I'm just gonna go chill with the cool guys. Hell they're not even gonna force me to smoke. Like I don't smoke personally, so but like those guys tend to be pretty cool about that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, especially from what I hear, those Cypress Hill guys are super chill. I mean, they're doing
Yeah.
shit with like the London Orchestra now
Oh, that's
because of
awesome.
because of a Simpsons gag.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, like you
I'm not
remember that
seen that.
episode where Homer goes to Lollapalooza?
I did not know that happened.
Oh yeah, there's like and it's like from like season 7. There's an episode Homer goes to Lollapalooza. It's got yeah, Peter Frampton cameos, Sonic Youth cameos, Billy Corben cameos, Cypress
That's
Hill.
awesome.
Yep, yeah, it's like really good too. It's a classic.
I should probably watch. I should probably actually properly go through classic Simpsons.
There's a lot of good. There's a lot of gold there.
Yeah, no gold here though.
No, and that's why we're going off topic so much. There's really not a lot of ways to say that Vanilla Ice is a lame guy who doesn't seem to have a lot of fun or singing over bad production.
Yeah, except for the next proper song where all of a sudden we're just getting a bit more explicit, kinda
Yeah.
after another interlude.
Oh, Ice Cold. Yeah.
Okay, now he's actually saying sex for once, which is a step.
Here you go. It also takes that, and I forget what the sample is called, but the "It Takes Two" sample, which
Oh,
was like,
that.
which that was a few years before this one. It feels really obvious to just do the yeah thing.
Yeah, I know. I actually kind of felt grossed out by this song.
No, I mean me too. It was odd. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like the Red Hot Chili Peppers "Sir Psycho Sexy."
Yeah,
Like this feels like that if it were bad.
yeah, like because yeah, like Sir Psycho Sexy. That song is great because it's just so demented and nuts, and it just keeps on piling that same joke. It wears you down with it. But then here we just get a guy with no self awareness saying, "I rob virgins of their Don't say rob. Don't say rob. That's not the word you want to use
Yeah,
when you're talking about
like
sex. That's like literally,
oh,
like literally
that
taking the
is
pussy as a metaphor for rape for a reason. I mean, goddamn.
yeah, like it's like
Like,
he just again he's just not thinking his implications through.
really isn't that line about snatching women too? Like in that same verse.
It's like this feels infinitely worse than pretty much most of those other, in a lot of those other those womanizing rap songs from this time that people know. Like this feels like infinitely worse than what is it? Snoop Dogg's "Ain't No Fun If the Homies Can't Have None."
And if yeah, something like that. Yeah, like that. I
Yeah,
mean, at least that song promises fun. This song feels like I'm talking with a 45-year-old guy at the bar telling me how yeah, I'm on the sex offender registry, but it's totally bullshit. That judge had a thing against me. You
yeah.
know, in
It's
a
just
dingy dive bar.
and then the next song is just now. What the fuck is Rasta Man?
Yeah,
Why? What?
uh Now, you think Snow ever heard this song? You think Snow ever heard this song and got really mad?
I don't know. Like, it's like all of a sudden, okay, there's just a bunch of these stale rap songs all the way through. Then all of a sudden, it's like, okay, we're gonna do reggae now. No reason why. I'm just gonna put on a voice. We're just gonna make this. We're just gonna just. Why?
Rastaman getting some of the worst 808s I've ever heard. It doesn't even sound like. It doesn't even end up sounding like reggae. It kind of sounds like. I think I wrote in my notes just the words Miami Vomit. It kind of sounds
Yeah.
like the theme song to a show called the Miami Squad Detective Notices, and everything's all like everybody's wearing pink shirts, and it's super
Yeah.
cheap and bad.
Uh, I gotta say, I hate bad white boy reggae way more than bad white boy rap. Like I have zero patience for this kind of thing.
Yeah, like honestly, like the quality is such a nosedive, and I'm with you. Like the failures are that much more stark.
Yeah, like it's like this just feels like UB40 type shit.
Oh yeah, I mean this kind of feels sub UB40. I feel like I mean
Uh,
just all right. Well, maybe I won't go
uh,
that far.
yeah. It's kind of hard to be worse than UB40's cover of Strange Fruit.
Strange food. Oh god. Yeah, I mean that is true. Yeah, that's a crime against humanity, and
Yeah,
this is just
this
a crime against
is
some
kind of
humans, I
against
guess.
taste.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Such taste. Oh my god. Yeah.
He's just putting on this awful voice. Which like okay, I'm just gonna spoil this. This is infinitely worse than any song on the Snow album.
1,000,000,000% the worst
Yeah.
than anything. This is yeah, easily the worst song on the album. You can kind of feel some executives say, "Okay, now do a Caribbean song for the Caribbean people," and then they say the word reggae. He does a fake patois, and then they don't actually have any like bounce in it or melody or flow. It just sounds very sterile and synthy.
Yeah, it's just like who dreamt this up? Like this had to be an executive. Like I'm sure Vanilla. I'm sure Van Winkle himself does have genuine interest in hip hop culture, but I don't buy that he has interest in reggae.
Yeah, I can't. Maybe because he did live in Miami for a bit, he like met some Caribbeanos and they were talk with him like that. But it doesn't. I don't feel any sense of authenticity on here, and there isn't. This song doesn't even like shout out Miami that much. I only wrote down Miami Vomit because it sounds like the theme song to a bad movie.
Yeah, like this is like the coddest of cod reggae.
Yeah. Oh God, cod reggae.
It's like honestly, it's like I just don't have much patience. But I don't even like the Police because of that.
Really?
Yeah, like my favorite Police song is "Mother," like by a long shot. If that
Ooh.
tells you anything.
Oh hell yeah! I love that take so much. But now I get. I mean, I do like the Police, but there are songs that I don't know. Like I think some songs like "Walking on the Moon" kind of get under my skin
It's like
a
they
bit.
like it like I like I'm not even, I've pretty much called them cod reggae at times. If that tells you that I don't like them.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about it, yeah, like my favorite Police songs are easily they're more rock oriented, like Synchronicity 2.
Yeah,
I think is so much better than yeah, like that one with the you're walking on. No, I don't know. I kind of like Walking on the Moon, I guess.
like no matter but every single Police song I've heard is better than this at least.
Oh yeah, at least again, at least Sting seems like somebody who cares about music.
Exactly. And then there's "I Love You," which just feels tacked on. It's like okay, it's like I've been bored out. Like I got bored out of my mind for a while. This song was a rude. Man was a rude awakening, and now we're just doing a cheese ballad.
Yeah, this I think this will be the second Thugs Need Love 2 song on the project. And this
Yeah.
feels really just, oh god, I mean, this production just immediately hits you for being awful and cheesy adult contemporary stuff. Have you ever seen the that Human Torch rap from that Fantastic Four cartoon that goes viral sometimes because it's like animated
Uh,
very choppily?
I have not,
That is
but
okay. I mean, maybe that's a bit of an obscure reference, but if anybody knows like the Fantastic Four Human Torch rap, that does kind of remind me a little bit of this, and it's very off kilter. But then I went to listen to that song, and of course, the song from the cartoon that was made to sell toys in the '90s is better than Vanilla Ice. After all this, misogynistic posturing for 13 tracks, just goes, by the way, I love you. We've been together for 2 years. I love monogamy.
yeah, I'm not buying it.
Yeah, it sounds so insincere, and it's his most sparse lyrics like on the entire thing, so it really doesn't come off as sincere when he says just like the most generic things possible. Like, hang on, let me go pull up some of these lines. I should have done that, but I was on the other tab. Thinking
Yeah.
of how I feel when I'm in your arms gives me a chill. Knowing I that you want me by your side mellows my mind and enhances my pride.
Yep, those are definitely some lyrics.
You're my
I made
queen.
note.
I'll buy you everything. Yes, girl. Even diamond rings.
Are you sure this
Yeah.
is a grown adult that wrote these?
I have to wonder. The question has to be asked.
Also, I wrote that his lack of melanin is showing.
It really, really is. This is the whitest love ballad I've ever heard.
Yeah, no, this is Vanta White right here. Pure, unadulterated Vanta White.
Yeah, this tastes like a communion wafer, just like completely flavorless. It dissolves on your tongue.
Yep, definitely a cracker.
Yep, that's right. Forgot about that. Yeah, and I guess that's the last real song on the album, and it is again very very long, overstays its
Yeah,
welcome, and it's just completely just unnecessary and just kind of goes over like a fart in the elevator.
yeah. Real quick, I do want to mention having a Roni is just a minute of beatboxing.
Yeah, that's the last track on the album is just a minute of beatboxing, which yeah, and a lot of albums like will end with a one like weird and quirky song of like a minute or less. So this album's not unique in that capacity, but it is just some beatboxing, maybe an inside joke of some kind that isn't funny to us because we don't know about it.
Yeah. I still don't know what a Roni is, and I probably don't want to know.
I assumed it was rice roni, and I'm just gonna keep assuming that because I'm not gonna look it up.
Yeah. Yeah, but I agree with your assessment of the album overall. This is just pure. This is just pure 90s marketing cynicism. Like the kind of cynicism we know the '94 wasn't around yet. Like no, and I actually like that kind of stuff. But this I don't. This is just this is just a ploy made by guys in suits to sell to white suburban moms.
Absolutely, there's like no like life or vibrancy to any of this, and I guess we're not like breaking anybody's hearts by saying that. Oh, Vanilla Ice, he's actually bad. But like part of why I wanted to do this episode was because I know these artists have been maligned so much, and I was interested to see if okay, how about so the world is real fucked up in 2025. What could there be any like hidden gem or hidden thing? And for to the extreme, the answer was no. It was actually
Yeah,
a lot worse than I was assuming. I figured
yeah,
it would be good by accident at least.
I do not have any stars on this song on this album at all. I did not save anything.
Yeah, I can't say that I could ever want to listen to anything again except for maybe Ice Ice Baby, like if I'm in the right mood.
That is definitely the best song on the album. Yes.
Oh, and how?
Yeah. The moral of the story is just listen to Ice Cube, just listen to A Tribe Called Quest, listen to Beastie Boys, listen to De La Soul. They're all out during this same time. They're making better music.
90s was a very vibrant time for hip hop, in spite of, flailing pop artists like this, kind of polluting the culture with their own egotism and vanity.
Yeah. Well,
I hope Vanilla's, I don't. I hope he's not listening to this. I mean, I'm sure he wouldn't be, but it's like, I don't know. Feel weird shitting on the guy. Maybe he's a good person now. I have no idea.
I don't know either. I don't know. I don't think he's gonna see this. I think we're just talking about the music.
Yeah, but I think this is like the first album, at least for me, that I could that we've reviewed here that I've been able to just unequivocally say is bad. And
Same.
like bad in a way where I don't feel like giving it props for the one or two things that I do like, because those one or two things don't actually exist.
Yeah,
They're
it's
not
like
here.
even the Avenged Sevenfold album had two songs that I starred.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of an album that was at points pretty good by accident.
Yeah, like this is just oh, this is just cynical to me.
Yeah.
And like meanwhile, 12 Inches of Snow by Snow.
Our second project came out a few years later, in '93. Also a one-hit wonder. Also a white artist venturing into a genre that not typically associated with them. In this case, reggae more than rap. But unlike Vanilla Ice, Snow does have the distinction of some authenticity behind him, given that he grew up in some pretty poor places of Toronto. He had a lot of Caribbean friends. He went to jail a bunch of times and was kind of. That actually might have hindered his success because he couldn't promote this album properly
Yeah.
because he wasn't allowed to leave the country. Oh yeah, we'll get there. But,
Yeah.
definitely a contrast in character from Robert Van Winkle, because at the very least, and like I'm gonna get into my thoughts on this album, but there are parts of this album where I do get the feeling that Snow does care about music more than fame.
Yeah, that's same here. Like I was pretty surprised by this album actually.
Yeah, there's a lot of it is kind of a weird one. Like, I feel like this was more diverse sonically than To the Extreme. Sometimes that works in its benefit, sometimes it works against it. But I do kind of get the sense that this one also had a lot of studio executive fuckery.
Yeah, probably like it. All right, so this album is still too long.
Oh yeah.
Like but at the very least, at the very least, some of the songs are just the right length. Like there's some 3 minuters, and some 4 minuters.
That's true. Yeah, there are a couple of solid tracks links.
Yeah,
I like
it's
it.
like that's all I got.
All right, the first song, "Runway," opens the album up. Already, you can contrast because, like, the first out track of "To the Extreme" is the big hit. That's what gets you in, and this one, the big hit, is stuck right in the middle of it. Kind of
Yeah,
forces you to sit through everything, which
that's
I
another reason.
yeah.
Yeah, that's another reason why I feel like you said he seems to care more about the music than the fame. He's not just shoving the big song on the front.
Exactly, and a song like "Runway," which like like at the end of the day, this album it is very much pop reggae. It is reggae designed for a pop audience. But even songs like Runway, like I don't see you writing this song if you're trying to chase commercial success. It feels very uncommercial in a way that like well maybe not like it's not uncommercial by the standards of pop reggae, but it is uncommercial by the standards of pop radio in the 90s.
Yeah, it's it's like 92, 93.
Más o menos, yeah.
Yeah, pop radio. I think they might have just like they might have just started finally getting a hold of grunge at this time. Even though that they're not gonna, even though like it wouldn't be like at the top of the charts. Like they're the top of pop culture, just not the charts.
Right.
Like they think that would have been more like it would would have been more like the era of R&B.
I mean, yeah, I think that, yeah.
Like Mariah Carey type stuff.
Yeah, oh yeah, she was really getting big, especially like in the mid 90s.
Yeah. I saw like this, like Runway. I think it does a good job of setting up the album, setting up the tone of the album.
I really love the bells in this production.
Yes.
I think this song like sounds like this is a song that's been growing on me a little bit. I love the way that this sounds.
I think To the Extreme made me appreciate good production that much more, or even decent production.
Truly and honest, yeah. I'm glad that I listened to that one and then this because I feel like, yeah, even for. And I guess like a bit of a spoiler alert, I'm kind of on this album, but it does make you like appreciate the very little things, like the bare minimum things they do, like production with some dynamics or like actually changing up your flows every now and again.
Yeah, like this is an artiste.
Absolutely, I think that's reasonable to say. Again, by the standards of, 90s Canadians, white radio. It's a weird time.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was.
Sorry. Let's see. One thing I also want to say about, and I guess this also applies to the whole album, it generally is that I feel like Snow is very, very comfortable in this singing in this dialect of North American English that he chooses to embark on. And I can't help but compare that to another Canadian forays into this culture, Drake, whenever he tries to do Caribbean shit. And like he's also, tried to appropriate like my own culture, like as a Latino. He's done a bunch of Latin songs too, and like I see how bad he is at them, and like I can only imagine the like cringe a Caribbean person must feel if they have to listen to a shit like, Juan Juan Delilah.
Oh God, no.
So already like I hear like Snow like very like intricately, and like very fastly saying these lines, and it's like, okay, he's very comfortable like speaking like this, like the appropriation argument, it's impossible to ignore, but for whatever that's worth, I do think that the comfort that he has here says a lot about his knowledge of what he's talking about.
Exactly. Like I noticed that he seems to have it down, like as far as I can tell. Like I have listened to some old reggae before. Like I've heard plenty of Bob Marley. I've heard plenty of Peter Tosh. I could tell he's a fan of those two as well. Like a deep fan, not just the big stuff.
Oh, most certainly.
Because the language is I definitely recognize some of the language on here.
Yeah, like my mom lived in Hawaii for a little under a decade, and apparently like reggae or Caribbean music in general is super big over there. So she's like told me about a lot of like these like authentic artists that have been like heard and played, and like she's shared with me some slang, and I definitely recognize a lot of the things that he says, just even from that knowledge. Which is about like it's literally like third hand information.
Yeah. I guess mine would definitely be third hand as well. Like I don't know anyone personally like who knows patois.
Yeah. No, I have a couple Haitian friends. Maybe if a Creole ever gets the next big thing, I'll have the advanced knowledge of that. But alas,
Yeah. Oh well. I do know that I don't hate it. I don't hate this. I think it's neat so far.
yeah. And then
Champion Sound is also neat.
he goes even faster on this one. He really like ups his flow, and then it was like, a vocalist being dynamic with their voice instead of just recycling the same flow. Who'd ever heard of it?
Alright, like I will admit, I did kind of tune out a bit towards the end, but like, I still appreciate it.
Definitely, it is a bit more, kind of just more of the same pop reggae stuff, and like a lot of these songs do just go on a bit. It was. I also 90s.
Like the. I do also like the Dave Brubeck sample at the beginning. That was a really cool touch.
Yeah, I'd noticed that. That was pretty neat. I was like, okay, that's a nice use sample. Interesting, inspired.
Yeah, it's like I think. Yeah, the other album also made me miss good samples.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. Something that isn't like obvious. Something that wasn't on a now that's what I call music CD.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, instead of just this big song people knows, we're just gonna go back. We're just gonna get some old classic jazz.
I mean, not to keep harping on that, but like I think about when the Fugees would sample like the most obvious pop songs of all time, but at least they would try and like do something different, or like they would just steal the melody, not the sample, and then like do something with the melody and build a other song over that. And then that's like if you want, you can do obvious samples in ways that demonstrate at least a little effort.
Right. And yeah, and Snow seems to do a good job of that.
I think so too.
Yeah. But yeah, with the fast rapping, I think it's because I think it's because I kind of got desensitized to it because Eminem kind of just abused that in his later stuff, where he just prioritized rapping fast over saying anything meaningful. Where I kind of just tune out. I tend to tune out some fast rap sometimes. That, but like, that's not this song's fault.
Yeah, and I kind of wonder if this even counts as rap.
Definitely not the most rap song on the album.
Yeah, it feels it feels kind of like a weird like 90s monogenre at points. Like how the 90s had their version of the monogenre that was distinct from like the recent monogenre we got going on, where everything has like big kicking drums and there's like a hint of like world music in there and some kind of alternative thing.
I don't think I quite know 90s monogenre.
Well, that's what kind of, and I guess like I don't know. That's kind of what I feel like. Some of this album is like you can tell it was produced in the '90s, and not all of it is like the the type of '90s production that aged super well.
All right, that's totally fair. Meanwhile, Lonely Monday Morning. I have the song starred. First time this entire episode I starred something.
Very nice. Oh, I starred Runway, for what it's worth. But I do like Lonely Monday Morning too. I wasn't expecting it to just be like Informer, but different.
Yeah, like it's exactly. It's like it's. I think I like the hook on this more than Informer.
It's very catchy, and I like that he was able to tell that same story in something a bit less friendly for pop radio.
Yeah, it's okay, guy, y'all on the radio. Here's what happened to me, and if you want to hear it in more explicit detail, buy my album.
Hmm.
It's a good hook. It's a good way to get people to buy your album. I'm not knocking it.
Yeah, must have worked for him.
Yeah,
I think his voice is maybe a little bit too squeaky on this one for me to
honestly, I love
fully
how he
embrace it.
sounds on this one.
Maybe I need to listen to a little bit more like old school reggae, and then I can appreciate his inflections a bit. But I really did like as soon as I first heard it, I instantly appreciated it for what it was because I don't know, like it was. I didn't do that much research on like the production of this album because there's not a lot of just stuff that was easily available. But I definitely got the sense that this was him. Like doing a song because he wanted to do this song in this style, a little bit less with the pop production. And honestly, that like kicks ass.
Exactly. Like, go off, Queen.
Go off, Queen.
Yeah, I know there's also a remix of this song as a bonus track. I did listen to the bonus tracks because apparently the second to last song is also a bonus track, and I didn't know it until I had already listened to it. So I figured, why not? I'll listen to the remix too.
Yeah, that's kind of my album philosophy. Just do what Spotify says because that's how most people are listening to music anyway. So they kind of create the truth.
Yeah,
They want to.
we'll get to that. We'll get to that soon, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this might actually be my favorite song on the album. Like maybe more than Informer,
Oh,
because it
that's
does
nice.
because it gets more since it is more gritty about the stuff that he went through in prison.
Definitely, and I really like that part. Like, it does recontextualize things. Like, Informer is a song of anger, of aggression, of posturing, and then Lonely Monday Morning is a song of like sorrow, of melancholy, of all right, I'm just this fucked up thing happened to me, and I'm still like kind of shaking and recovering from it. And they really are again, even though like these songs have 90% the same lyrics, that change in production, that change in the hook, that change in perspective, it really you're telling the same story in such a different way, and it kind of makes me wish more artists would like give that a shot because I think it was executed pretty well here.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's something it's unique. I would say.
Amen.
Yeah,
All right, you want to move on to Drunken Styles?
yeah, I'm ready.
All right, Drunken Styles. I also liked it, but I felt that it kind of went on a bit too long. Got a little
Yeah,
repetitive.
same. Like I think I'm also just more interested in hearing him talk about his personal life and talk about stuff he went through, rather than this.
Yeah, it's definitely more captivating to talk about like I said, the arrest that formed the basis of Lonely Monday Morning than just this one, which is I mean I guess he talks about one not wanting unnecessary trouble. I guess everybody wants that, but I don't know if that's doesn't really tie that into anything in his personal life, which could have been nice.
Yeah,
Could have been a little
yeah,
bit of a missed opportunity.
yeah. It's an okay song, I suppose, but I do find his Muppet inflections towards the end to be kind of funny.
A little, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
That man is really has a dynamic voice. He can really do some good things with that voice box of his.
definitely. Like that's this thing that yeah, like he seems to know it too. He seems to experiment with his voice throughout this album at times.
And some unexpected points too, but we'll get there.
Yeah. Oh, girl, I've been hurt. Ah,
The big follow-up
yeah,
single.
yeah. Oh yeah, this was a single. I don't know why, but it feels like Lonely Monday Morning should have been a single, but I guess they didn't do it because Informer was already the single, and I guess it wouldn't make sense to have two singles that talk about the exact same story, even if they are kind of done differently.
Yeah, I do think that maybe in a world where Informer wasn't a hit, that Lonely Monday Morning could have been at least moderately successful. I feel like it's not, like I said, it's not like so obviously commercial, but it's definitely not abrasive, and it's very like that. There were a lot of like kind of dark and brooding songs going on around that time. It could have like hitched its wagon to like some of those like that like kind of early 90s like darkness back before like pop rap took over again in the late 90s.
Yeah, like I could see it fitting well amongst the gangster rap scene, even if
Yeah,
it's not really a rap song.
yeah, but it's definitely, yeah, it's brooding and emotional in a way that like a lot of Tupac songs can be.
Yeah, or
uh,
hell, maybe it could have been a sleeper hit, and like the guy from House of Pain, that's his song "What It's Like." It could fit in with something like that.
Ooh, you know what, you're right, that they do got a similar moods even though they're like different songs.
Yeah,
I see the vision. uh,
have TikTok bring Lonely Monday Morning into the spotlight. That's my thing.
that would be pretty nice.
Yeah.
Time will
Anyway,
tell.
we've been talking about Lonely Monday Morning instead of Girl Have Been Hurt. I think it's because I don't really have much to say about this one. I kind of zoned out towards it too.
Yeah, Girl I've Been Heard is just another Thugs Need Love song, and I'm not going to say it's insincere, but it's definitely unusual to hear Snow, talk about like womanizing and relationships and heartbreak. And I know that, like, I'm not saying he can't write songs about these topics. It's just that, in two songs, we're about to have a song about stabbing police informants.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a whiplash with this one.
Yeah. The difference between this and Vanilla Ice doing this is that I actually believe Snow went through this at some point.
Yeah, definitely. Like there is a realness to it. Like I do believe that this was based on an actual breakup, and it's not like just or purely the label telling him, okay, you need a song about heartbreak to get some of the adult contemporary crowd that's going on. Like yeah, there's something to hear, and I feel like especially in the last half of this album, a little spoilers. I think there's a lot of stuff that I feel is just like executive studio manipulation, but for a lot of these songs you do feel that, like, yeah, there's like that bit of authentic Snow trying to tell his own story and doing the best he can at it.
Yeah. And I can get down with that. I get more down with the next song, "Hey Pretty Love," which is like the sequel song where he rebounds.
That is nice to know. It kind of ties into a whole narrative.
Yeah, I have this one stored too, by the way.
Really.
Yeah, I just thought it was sweet.
I don't know.
Genuinely.
I don't know. This adult contemporary production feels odd to me. Like I don't like. I don't know. I can't imagine, like, is it the guy who wrote Informer wanted to do a song that sounded like Richard Marx? So I'm like, it does make me wonder. But I don't know. I do have an aversion to this type of like sterile, and another the Latin guitar stuff is a bit odd. Comes out of nowhere.
That's fair. I tend to have an aversion to that kind of stuff, but I don't know. I think something about this guy's character is kind of selling me on it in this particular instance.
I mean, yeah, a character can do a lot for it. Like an album is like, any other kind of pseudo narrative device. You gotta have a compelling protagonist, and
Yeah,
I think Snow it comes off a lot more likable than Vanilla Ice.
exactly. It's like,
I mean, if Vanilla Ice had one song like as like emotionally honest and like potent as Lonely Monday Morning, I think not as many people would be making fun of him to this day.
exactly. Yep. Now we've reached the big one.
The big one.
Alright, it's time for Informer. I love you know her.
Now that I fucking love this song. If I
Yeah.
if I ever had to like, I mean, not that I have any immediate interest in making like a Billboard rank up videos, but if I had to do like a top like my favorite pop songs of like '93, this would be up there super high. It might even be up there on a decade wide list. It's just a
Oh,
song that I've loved for a very long time. It's very popular. My parents love it. It's popular in my hometown. We love this kind of shit in the Rio Grande Valley. So I don't know. I love it
this was my
too
first
much.
time listening to it in full.
Oh, interesting. So what do you think?
It fucking rules, yes.
It does fucking rule. That beat
And
goes hard. He hits that chorus as hard as he can. He's like, and like I said, that it's the lonely Monday morning story, but that depression and like that despondence turns to like anger, frustration, and he's like, all right, let's fucking go. I'm gonna do this shit, and
yeah.
it's great. And he just like his flow is just awesome. His lines are just they go into each other. That last MC Shan verse is a nice little guest feature.
Yeah, it is. Like it really wraps the song up in a neat little bow.
Yeah, because Shan won't turn informer.
He ain't no snitch.
Yeah, and I guess
do like
this. Sorry, you go.
I do like that. I do notice that I know he apparently wrote this while he was in prison too.
I completely believe that. This does sound like a very like kind of fresh off the mind type of lyrics. And he's really like
Yeah.
detailing everything, the way that like the cops just coming in, giving him a cavity search, just the dehumanization of everything. It's so, yeah, it's straightforward. But I mean, I say it's straightforward, but obviously, like the big joke about this song is that nobody can understand the actual lyrics that are being said because of Snow's very thick accent, and it does like make me wonder like how many people do know that what this song is actually about.
Yeah, that kind of tends to happen. I've noticed that tends to be a good way to sneak in a really important message. You just hide it under an accent.
They'll never know. Also, I kind of wonder how many people only know this song because of Con Calma.
Because of what?
That Con Calma song with Daddy Yankee.
I don't know. I don't know that song.
Okay, so in 2019, and I guess I don't listen to a lot of reggaeton, and like Daddy Yankee is no exception. Well, he did that thing where it just that incredibly lazy sampling where he turned this hook into a song about picking up women. It's like, "Con calma, I know you see me because you think I'm sexy. I want to take you, your girl," something like that. And then
Sounds
Snow.
like I'd hate it.
It's really bad because it's just like it turns like this into like a tropical house. It's not even like reggaeton. It makes the song sound more tropical house. And then Snow actually features on at least one version of the song to sing that last verse where he says, "Come with a nice young lady." The only verse that doesn't explicitly mention going to prison or any of that stuff. And I actually had an ex girlfriend who she had never heard the song Informer before, but she had only heard Con Calma, and I was the person who introduced Informer to her. And I do think the part of it is a little because she grew up in like one of the richest parts of the country and only knew this like sanitized version of it. Meanwhile, I grew up in the poorest part of the country, and I'm listening to only the original, and like I'm too good for that, Daddy Yankee pop reggaeton stuff. So yeah, I do I think a lot of people probably only know this song because of that Daddy Yankee Katy Perry thing.
Well, if that's the case, then that's unfortunate. 'Cause I know this was like one of the biggest songs of the '90s, like in terms of chart success.
Yeah, but I mean, TikTok is gonna do its thing, and like lazy sampling has been a trend for a couple years now. I guess, although
Yeah,
2019,
I
that's a while ago.
I reject the entire trend on principle.
Same.
I'm sure it's all, and I'm blaming Ice Ice Baby for it. By the way,
Yeah, that one.
blaming that. I'm
That one
gonna
didn't
call
help.
that the impetus.
Yeah, that was probably one of the laziest sampling that they like tried to argue was more than what it actually was. Again, at least the Fugees were upfront when they like sampled the most obvious songs ever.
Yeah, exactly. We just can't stop shitting Vanilla Ice.
It's hard not to,
Yeah, I guess we are comparing these after all.
for sure.
Uh, anyway, that anyway that's all I have to say about Informer. Now
Yeah,
we're in the second half of this album.
yeah, not much meat to pick left on the Informer bone. It is like one of the most well-known songs of the '90s. You've probably heard parts of it, and yeah, for what it's worth, I give it my stamp of approval as one of my
Yeah.
favorite pop songs of that decade.
Excuse me.
Oh,
All
good,
right.
good.
Creative Child. Ah, okay. And I guess it's like I know he's honest about his heritage too, about how he grew up being Irish Canadian.
Yeah, this one was like I thought this was a guest rapper for like half a minute until I realized, oh, that is him. He's just like kind of not doing that like patois accent.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like he's breaking the usual formula. He's just doing his normal voice, his normal cadence. Yes. And I thought that was a cool touch. It definitely added some character to this song, even if I didn't think the song as a whole was very interesting.
Yeah, let's see. I kind of, I'll be honest. I did give this one a star because I did. Well, part of it was just because this is like probably the purest rap song on the whole album, and he is so much better a rapper than Vanilla Ice. So I think that contrast made me like the song maybe more than I should have. But I do think it
I wouldn't,
is.
I wouldn't even call it the purest rap song on the album, but we'll get there.
Okay, got it. Uh, I guess this was like maybe not the pure, but like the first song that just struck me as like pure hip hop instead of pop reggae type thing.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I thought yeah he's talking about his heritage and he like kind of talks in a more neutral Canadian accent, and then eventually I like that he peppers in some more Caribbean slang as the thing goes on, and I don't know I felt it like oddly compelling. It definitely again took me by surprise because I didn't expect him to, take on the accent that he does like this late into the project. But I did think this was a very unique song, and
Yeah, that's fair.
I like it a lot. And I like that he talks about himself and because that I think that he is like an artist who is like has when you're an artist who has a genuinely interesting life, it's okay to talk about yourself. People won't get sick
Right.
of you if you have fun stories and like have an interesting point of view.
Like that works for a lot of that's why a lot of rappers in general are so successful. They live some very interesting lives.
Amen.
That's why Vanilla Ice failed.
Yep. Or he couldn't talk about the interesting stuff that he did do, like street performing.
I don't know
But
why he
anyway.
didn't.
Um,
Oh,
but
well.
anyway.
The lady with the red dress. I don't know. It almost seems cute, but I, like, there was. It's basically just he wants a girl, but like he seems to specify the red dress a lot. I'm gonna find another girl with the red dress. Like that did kind of throw me off a bit.
This one feels weird to me. Like, I don't. Like, this barely feels like it has any reggae at all. This just kind of feels like a standard R&B song.
Yeah. I guess it's doing something else different. Like I don't think this one doesn't really hit for me.
Yeah, I can't say I felt too many strong emotions about this one.
Yeah,
You know,
it's just there. I
it is
know
a very
this one
there
might
song.
this one. I feel like this one could have might actually just be to pad out the runtime of the album a bit. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, yeah. Gotta have at least some of these tracks had to have been for that purpose, and wouldn't blame me. I wouldn't. It wouldn't surprise me if this was one of those songs that was just recorded. Yeah, as a bit of an afterthought.
I kind of think we're just in that section of the album now.
There is a big difference between the first half and the last half of this album. I will say
Yeah,
you can tell.
it's like yeah, exactly. In you, uh, I
There are 8 billion people on this world. Statistically speaking, this is somebody's favorite song.
true.
What do you think that person is like?
I feel like that person was probably conceived to that one Vanilla Ice song.
I'm sure. Oh God.
It's like I don't know. That's just not a good line, and definitely not a good line to make the title.
Or to repeat like as often as they do.
Yeah, it's like, and like it's this guy. Like you can get explicit, like you like you were pretty explicit about your own life.
Yeah, like and this sounds like somebody like if In Living Color ever did a parody of Color Me Bad, this sounds like the type of thing they would do. This is like this is like a bad Color Me Bad or Boyz II Men song that just is sexual in the most corny and explicit ways without any type of like it's like all treble. Like here's the thing, it doesn't even like sound nice as a song. It's just very corny and 90s. I just
Yeah,
wanna dan it, yeah, it's like doesn't doesn't sound good. And for what it's worth, apparently this was the only song produced by this guy John Ficarota, who was like most of the rest of the album was produced by MC Shan, the guest rapper on Informer, and some other guy. But this one was just some random guy who worked for the label, from what I can tell.
they, I guess some guy owed him. I guess he owed someone a favor.
I guess so. And yeah,
Yeah,
this is what he did with it.
definitely a decision to put on this album.
I think it's kind of obvious at this point that we like and respect this album a lot more than the Vanilla Ice one, but this one really does like it is bad in a way that a lot of the Vanilla Ice songs were bad.
Yep, but yeah, this song is just
And it's just
no,
that yeah.
this song is like the closest it gets to that. I think. Not the. It's not that though. I don't think it's the worst song on the album, but we'll get there.
It's really just one bad decision, but it's just that chorus going, "All I wanna in you," like which is one of the most unpleasant things. And like it's not like the song like mostly makes okay decisions, but that one is just yeah, like you said, that is really something that you were really confident about, weren't you?
Yeah. Uh, Can't Get Enough is also pretty boring outside of that opening riff.
Yeah, this is another song that I feel like it just doesn't actually have reggae in it. Like I know he like kind of does that patois dialect like kind of partway through as like kind of a hailing great. It's like, oh hey, isn't this guy supposed to be like a Caribbeano? Isn't there something we're doing with that, or yeah, like it does feel very yeah, like that. This definitely feels like the studio executive shaped half of the album.
Definitely, like it's like he just ran out of personal life to talk about, and now and
Yeah, so yeah, it's just another song about another person. I need you. I want you. Something. Want. Need. Yeah. Da, 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 da.
yeah, I would just cut out this and the past two songs entirely.
Yeah,
I feel like that would have significantly improved the album. I would have also cut out "Ease Up," which I actively dislike this song.
yeah, this one also did come out of nowhere. Like this reminded production wise, this reminded me of that "I Love You" Vanilla Ice song, and then the lyrics are
Yeah,
like, okay, so it's just Hotline Bling, but like without the production that is like fun and poppy.
yeah. That's kind of why I hate this. I do not like Hotline Bling. I just hate Drake in general. So like this had no chance to sit well with me. But also, why does he call something a final solution? Why do Nazis keep going back into this?
Yeah, that was interesting language. I have to wonder if did that mean some did those words mean something different in like Toronto in the 90s, because that is a very loaded two words, and like I know it can refer to literally just like a solution that is final, but again, like those are, these very loaded terms. You don't want to just be stepping into them.
Let me quote the full lyric for context sake. Let me find it. And now it comes to the final solution: robbing and stealing and prostitution. Can't you see that your world is a shamble? Life's a big game with player gambles. So okay, so now that the full context is there, it's like, yeah, that is a. Why would you? Why did no one tell him what that meant?
I guess must have not have. And it
I
is
don't know.
maybe just we needed a rhyme for prostitution.
Oh, it's like how do Nazis keep coming back into this episode?
It is unusual. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
probably
one of
because it's
those
the white
episodes.
episode.
It is, yeah. Yeah, sometimes that just happens by accident.
Yeah, it's like yeah, that's just a bad lyric is all it is. Like he definitely I don't like I highly doubt he meant anything about it. That just like no the bad messaging in this song is something different.
Yeah, like at first I wrote this was Hotline Bling, but without the good production. But then I wrote it was Hotline Bling, but if the girl had actual problems.
Yeah, it's
Instead
like
of just, and even then, there's like a lot of like I hope this is like a real person, but even that kind of wouldn't make some of these lines okay. But yeah, it
I
is just
wish
a
I
weird
knew I
moralizing
wish I
list.
knew what to do to put you on the right track. I hate that lyric so much.
Yeah, you can't.
Like
Uh,
this just feels like a self-satisfied douchebag. Like you
yeah,
that
this is where the Drake comparisons aren't unfair.
yeah that Arrested Development song from Zingalama Doomy where he's
The abortion song.
the abortion song. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
kind of the vibe I got here. Like
yeah, yeah. Nobody wants to listen to like a guy like fucking lecturing
yeah,
somebody. Yeah. And man, like if Hotline Bling is like obnoxious enough, and like I said, I literally that's the only song I can compare this to, because that's just the only song I can think of where I'm yelling at the song, bro, stop talking, just chill. It's not that serious. Which is why, like I said, maybe if this is like a real person, and if this is a cautionary tale he wants to tell, well, I mean, he doesn't like do a good job of that, but at least that would add some sincerity to it. And because yeah, I don't like see any other virtue for this song otherwise.
same. It's just I don't know. It's just this feels like the most studio mandated song to me.
Yeah, oh god, yeah, that production is even more like oof. If I thought the production on that one song was a little too Richard Marx, and oh Jesus Christ, this thing just was like a drag. The song went on forever.
Yeah. And also, this is technically the album closer. You're not
Yeah,
counting those bonus tracks.
a great way to close out your album.
Luckily, though, that's not where I ended it on. So, 50 Ways. Uh, so this is
Yeah.
technically a bonus track, but like, I like this. I This is the last song I have starred.
Yeah, honestly, this is a much better close. Like, I honestly, Ease Up should not like be on this album at all. But this is like just a. This is more like a first half of the album type of song, and I kind of like
Yeah,
that.
and it's funny. It's like by this point in the Vanilla Ice album, he's doing the reggae song, but
Yeah.
meanwhile, Snow at this point is doing the rap song. And
Yeah, no.
Snow is much better at rap and reggae than Vanilla Ice is at rap and reggae.
Demonstrably so. Yeah.
Yeah, like yeah, it's like it does. Yeah, sure, it does have that means you're gay line, but like it's the early '90s. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
So I just don't
Yeah.
care.
And Jamaican music in particular gets a lot more homophobic than that. I will leave it there.
Yeah, it's like
If you
it
know,
could be
you
a
know.
lot worse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jamaican, and plus he's shitting on New Yorkers on that line, which is probably like, oh hey, we're in Toronto, we have street cred too. We're not just the country with everybody gets free healthcare. We got problems of our own. So I know I feel like there's a lot of I don't know. I kind of expected a little bit more of that. Like I feel like Snow like defends himself for being white instead of being Canadian, and I feel like for a lot of Americans that is part. The Canadian thing is more of the issue because
Yeah.
we kind of like assume that that place is a utopia, or it's easy for us to think that way.
I don't know if I picked up on that from the song. Might not have.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's just something I was kind of wondering if it would be addressed because I feel like yeah, and I feel like we didn't like. Arguably, we still don't even respect Canada as like a place where that can have like diverse different types of music.
I mean,
I feel like Drake.
That's yeah.
Yeah,
I was gonna say that.
Drake did some good for them, but I feel like now his reputation is like sinking so quickly that he's kind of dragging them down along with him.
I mean, he's kind of he's doing that to himself at this point.
Yeah.
But like,
Ugh.
now, y'all watching already know that story. You don't need us to tell you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. None need to be said.
Yeah. And then we just get a remix of Lonely Monday Morning, which is about the same. Maybe a little harder. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a bit more. Yeah, it's less of a. It's a little bit more punchy, a little more upbeat, but it is like the same
Yeah,
song,
it's
but
like
just remixed.
it's like if you try to give that song the energy of Informer, but like Informer's already there, and it's the same. It is the same sentiment.
Yeah. So it does like make you kind of wonder what. Yeah, like what they're thinking about it was, but I guess if he had to pick one song to it does like say a lot that this was the one song that he felt was worthy of a remix
Yeah,
to put on the
exactly. It's
album.
like, especially
Yeah.
considering that the original is not even a single.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. It's not even a single, and it got a remix.
Yeah,
it's-
and
it's-
I don't
he
think
must-
Informer ever. I don't think Informer ever got a remix.
I'm sure it might have gotten. I don't know if it got any official remixes. I'm sure it's been remixed by this point, or
Oh,
by
yeah,
this
definitely. Apparently by Daddy Yankee, like you said.
point. Yeah, that one. Oof.
But yeah.
Gentrified.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely. It's definitely. It's definitely a testament to how good this song is. That he's willing to remix his non-single and make it a bonus track.
Totally. I love that he has like that much faith in an album cuts, and yeah, it does like kind of go into what I was saying earlier. Like he cares about the music because if he more than he cared about being famous, if all he cared about was being famous or being successful, like he wouldn't do something like this.
Exactly.
He really loves this song, and you know what? He should like yeah, because like I mean I've known Informer since I was a kid, and then I hear Lonely Monday Morning, and it's just like oh wow, that's these lines that I've known for over half my life, just this completely different perspective, completely different emotions associated with it.
Yeah, it
So
is
yeah,
definitely the best song on the album, in my opinion. Yeah.
nice. I still gotta give the inch out to Informer because of Valley Kid nostalgia, but I mean, yeah, close second.
Totally fair. I'm probably more likely to put on Informer.
It's definitely
Like
a
it,
more of a party workout song.
yeah. Though then again, I do tend to revel in somber music. So maybe that's a lie too. Maybe I will be more likely to put on Lonely Monday Morning.
Well, time will tell.
Yeah.
And then that
Alright.
was the last song off of this album.
Yep. That was basically our journey across these two albums by by white artists in predominantly black genres.
And just like at least, or just I was kind of expecting that the Vanilla Ice album would be bad and that the Snow album would be kind of mixed, and that was pretty much what I got.
Yeah, Vanilla Ice album just kept getting worse as it went.
Yeah, like I guess like that one was worse than I definitely worse than I expected. Like I said earlier, I really thought it would have been good at least by accident at some point, or he would have switched up his flow at least a little bit. But he really like didn't give us anything
I
to
mean,
work with.
the one time he switched up was ended up being the worst song on the album by a
Yeah,
long shot. So
yeah, that is a
maybe it was a
good
good
point.
thing he did. Maybe it's a good thing he didn't switch up that much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it would have been the interesting type of bad instead of the boring type of bad.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Last of Man is definitely the interesting type of bad, at least in
Yeah,
context of the album.
yeah, that's one of those songs you don't forget about. Ah, jeez.
I can't wait to expose that to some people.
Oh yeah, man, when everybody hears this episode, they're gonna be, God, I'm excited
Yeah, I'm also gonna expose them to Lonely Monday Morning because then they deserve a treat.
because we love our friends and we don't just want
Yes,
to torture them.
exactly.
Even though it
Yeah.
will be fun to send people Rasta Man by Vanilla Ice. It will be fun, but it's not the only thing you can do with the knowledge gained in this episode.
Exactly. But yeah, like both. But yeah. So if I were to give number ratings to these, so I would say that the Vanilla Ice album is a 2 out of 10. Really hated it.
Yeah, I would also give it like a light two or maybe a strong one.
Yeah, I am kind of bordering on one because I think the was like there is not a song on here that I like. So but yeah, I might go with the one. We'll see. Yeah,
Yeah, I just I mean like Ice Ice Baby is the. I mean I wouldn't even say I like that song. I wouldn't say I love it, but it is like the closest thing to enjoyment I experience on the album. At least in
yeah.
ways that aren't me laughing at how corny the lyrics are.
And the sample is doing some heavy lifting there still.
It is a lot of yeah. That sample is really kind of carrying his mediocre wordplay.
Yeah, yeah. I think the reason I wouldn't call it a one is because I find it too boring overall.
Mm-mm. Interesting. Yeah, see,
Uh,
sometimes I guess I'm I say that word a lot, but I guess I'm the type of person who I think boring is a worse sin than being bad in an odd way. But I can go back and forth on that. I guess I don't know. I just have to like rank by how much enjoyment I got out of it, how much I en- how much the lyrics spoke to me, how much the I thought the production was neat, but it was just at the end of the day, like yeah, it just didn't give me a lot to work with, and what it did was just bad.
yeah. You know, I would say 12 inches of snow probably be like a 6 or a 7.
Uh,
Like that back half kind of drags it down a bit.
yeah, I would probably give it something between like a 5 or a 6. So I do think that like the parts where Snow is being himself are really strong, and then some of the more like ventures into other genres and some of this like obviously studio pandering are just they do weigh it down in a
Yeah,
noticeable way.
definitely. It was definitely interesting to compare and contrast these two. It's like it basically just ended up comparing a marketing ploy versus an actual artist.
That's a really good way to put it.
It's
Yeah,
like you
that
can tell. It's like it's like night and day between like this is like this early part of the '90s, which is basically just which is basically just '80s runoff,
mhm.
versus like once the '90s have actually kicked in.
Yeah, that's a good way. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, my throat. It really that Vanilla Ice album really does sound like just the '80s, kind of limping along, mindlessly refusing to let go. And then by the time Snow comes around, you'll see more of those '90s conventions, like especially those like drum patterns and drum beats start hitting a lot more prominently. And even just
Exactly.
like the way they use samples was like different in the '90s compared to like that the late '80s pop rap stuff.
Yeah, it's like he had a slightly better understanding of what works and what doesn't, and I think, and also litigation.
Yeah, that too. Litigation does a lot.
Thanks a lot, Eagles,
Th-
assholes.
Thank you, Eagles, you short-sighted jerks. It's people like you that led to that blurred lines ruling that led to the crisis we see today.
Yep. No, I'm still blaming Ice Ice Baby though.
Yeah, I mean, it really was like the seed from which the poisonous tree sprouted.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um.
tasteless.
Well, before we announce the next theme, I just want to say real quick to if you haven't seen it yet, I have a video on my own channel out where I review and analyze my favorite album of all time, Wall Socket by Underscores. And if you haven't
Yes.
seen it yet, go ahead and check that out.
Please go watch that video. It's very good. There's a lot of good information. I didn't even realize that album had like a full narrative, but now I'm very interested in it. Uh,
Yeah, it's
the album
trust me,
is
it's
good, but I choose to interpret that first song as the bank robber coming to the city for refuge anyway, despite it making no sense because I think it makes the thing sound better.
yeah, it's kind of a loose narrative. You can there's no right way to interpret it.
And please check out Mage's video for one way to interpret it, which will no doubt foster your own thinking.
Yes,
Be a thinker.
there's a reason that video is 55 minutes.
It's worth every minute.
Yes. All right, now that self promo is out of the way, are you ready to tell our lovely audience what the next episode will be and what we have planned?
Yes, I am. We are going to be talking about some of our favorite artists of all time. For myself, it's Sonic Youth. For Mage, it's Swans. Uh, this is something we kind of want to do regularly because these are artists that we have a lot of love for. I mean, certainly for me, Sonic Youth was very influential in my music nerddom, and they're also bands that have crazy long discographies. So we do kind of want to look at both of these artists semi regularly. But for
Yeah.
this episode, we want to view their most controversial and worst received albums to compare them. Sonic Youth, it will be NYC Ghosts and Flowers.
And for
And
Swans, The Burning World.
Who Will Burn, the World or the Ghosts and Flowers? Tune in a fortnight from now to find out.
Yep. My name is Mageclick,
My name is Foxx Navarro.
and we shall see you in the next episode. Peace.
Take care.